In 1587, the oldest unsolved mystery in American history begins. 117 English settlers, 90 men, 17 women, and 1 newborn baby. They set foot on a new continent. Everything seemed to be falling into place. 3 years later, they were gone. Homes left standing, weapons untouched. Not a single sign of struggle. Only one word remained, carved into a wooden post: CROATOAN. In 1584, English explorer Walter Raleigh received permission from Queen Elizabeth I to build a colony in North America. This wasn't just an adventure. Colonies meant money, simple as that. He chose a small island off present-day North Carolina, Roanoke Island. The first expedition went well. The English traded with local tribes and brought 2 native men back to England: Mateo, son of a Croatoan chief who learned English and befriended the colonists, and Wanchese of the CROATOAN tribe, who watched the English from the beginning and never trusted them. In 1585, the second expedition arrived. The English were hungry. The tribes shared what they had. But generosity has a cost. The natives had no immunity to European disease. One by one, they began to die. When a tribal chief refused to provide more food, an Englishman killed him. The colonists fled. But Raleigh didn't give up. In 1587, 117 settlers, men, women, and children, were led by John White, an artist and close friend of Raleigh. They barely arrived before tragedy struck. Colonist George Howe wandered out alone to catch crabs and never came back. The tribes hadn't forgotten. This was revenge. But White had learned from the past. Instead of retaliation, he offered peace. It worked. On August 18, 1587, White's daughter gave birth. A girl, the first English child ever born on American soil. Her name was Virginia Dare. But joy didn't last long. The land was harsh. Supplies were running out. The colonists begged White to return to England for more. He went. What he didn't know was that he would not return for 3 years. England was at war with Spain, the Spanish Armada. Queen Elizabeth seized every large ship for the war effort. White had no way to secure a ship. In 1590, a privateer fleet returning from the Caribbean agreed to make a quick stop at Roanoke. White jumped at the chance. He arrived on August 18th, Virginia Dare's 3rd birthday. The village was empty, completely, impossibly empty. No people, no struggle, no bodies, not even bones. Their belongings still sitting exactly where they'd left them. Over 100 people vanished without a sound. White searched desperately, and then he found it, carved into a fence post. Before White had left, he made the colonists promise one thing: if you have to leave, carve your destination, and if you're in danger, carve a Maltese cross. There was no cross. White felt a wave of relief. CROATOAN was a nearby island and the name of the tribe that lived there. Present-day Hatteras Island. He had to get there. But a massive storm was closing in. The privateer fleet couldn't wait. This was never supposed to be a long stop. For the second time, John White left the island without his daughter, without Virginia. That was the last time he ever tried. He died never knowing what happened to them. More than 100 people, gone without a trace. History would name it the Lost Colony. Theory number 1, killed in a native attack. The Powhatan chief reportedly boasted, "We wiped them all out." This was said at the height of violent tensions, a show of power or an outright lie. Most damning, there were no bodies anywhere. Theory number 2, attacked by Spain. Spain and England were at war. Could they have destroyed the colony? Possible, but no Spanish record mentions Roanoke. Theory number 3, they tried to sail home. White had left behind a small boat. Maybe the colonists tried to cross the Atlantic on their own. But crossing the Atlantic without experienced sailors? Unlikely. And it still doesn't explain the word on the post. For centuries, the case seemed cold. Then, in 2020, everything changed. Archaeologist Mark Horton and historian Scott Dawson were excavating Hatteras Island, the land of the CROATOAN. They found hammer scale, tiny flakes of iron that fly off metal when worked at high heat. The CROATOAN had no iron smelting technology. This could only mean one thing. The English had been here, working iron, living here. They also found a bronze signet ring, 16th century ceramics and copper necklace plates. But the way they were used told the real story. European glass reshaped into an arrowhead, not trade goods, tools of daily life. The English weren't visiting the CROATOAN, they were living with them. Meanwhile, the First Colony Foundation found a hidden symbol on John White's old map, pointing roughly 50 miles inland from Roanoke. They dug there, 16th century English pottery. They dug further inland at Site Y. More pottery. The 117 didn't vanish together. They split up. Some went south, to Hatteras, to the CROATOAN tribe. Others went northwest, deeper into the mainland. They didn't disappear. They dissolved into the land, into the people already living there. So what happened to Virginia Dare? She probably grew up among CROATOAN children, speaking English and the language of the tribe, a child of two worlds. Professor Horton believes the descendants of the colonists may have lived on Hatteras Island well into the early 1700s. This isn't a tragedy. This is a survival story. Maybe it was never the lost colony. Maybe it was the found people. DNA research continues. More excavations are planned. The full truth hasn't been confirmed, not yet, but that word carved into a wooden post 4 centuries ago, CROATOAN, is still whispering. This is Forbidden Atlas. If this story kept you watching, you already know what to do. Subscribe. CROATOAN is still out there, and so are we.